Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Peasy Photoshop. For today's lesson, first we're gonna talk about the different color mode, then we're gonna talk about the color and the light adjustment, and finally we will talk about two more tools, Bur and Dodge, which are the last tools that we're gonna talk about. After that you will completely know everything about the tools bar. Okay, let's start with the color mode. If you remember, in our first lessons, when we want to create a view file, I told you guys that I'm gonna talk about this color mode another time. So let's see what are these color mode that we can use. Okay, so the first one, that is the bitmap. Actually, bitmap, in this color mode you just have two color, black and white, and you only use one of these colors to represent the pixels around it. So for example, you draw something here, simply it's totally black and white. You cannot use soft brush here, you cannot actually use lots of the options here, like the magic selection. We cannot create layer inside it. It's so simple. Basically it's look like the old style of the images. If you remember the old time in the computer, the images were looks like something like this one here in the right side. So this is actually a bitmap image that is just created with the pixels of the black and white dots beside each other, and it's not actually mostly useful these days, but anyway, you have it here and it's good to know what does it do. Okay, but beside that we have very important colors, two colors that they are very important, which are RGB and CMYK. Let's see what are these two meaning. For example, here, when you want to open a document, you can choose if you want to work on the RGB color or the CMYK color. What RGB stands for is red, green, and blue color. CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black color. So basically, RGB is for the monitor. If you want to edit something, design something, create something that it's gonna use inside the monitor, like the website or a digital illustration, that it's just gonna be on the computer, just on the screen, you're gonna use RGB color. If you're gonna print something, you're gonna use CMYK color, because this is the color that the printer is using. The printer cannot use RGB color. But what will happen if you create an RGB and then you print it with the printer? Let's see the difference. For example, this is the RGB color that you create on your computer, but the moment that you print this image, this is how the colors will be show up. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of a bit dim. The colors are not strong. So for sure you see lots of things happen, like you saw an image on the computer, when you print it, the colors are totally different. If you want to avoid that, you have to create your file, your document, in the CMYK, because what you see in the CMYK color is exactly what it's gonna be printed. So for example, I create an RGB here. Let's exactly see how the thing happens. I already picked these two colors, this kind of blue and this purple. Okay, I will make a linear gradient here. So this is how it will work in the RGB color. Okay, now let's make a CMYK one. But if I print this image, it will be printed like this. You can see it's totally different. The colors, even the way that it's gradient, everything is changed, because this is how the printer works. This is how the actual color that you will see if you print it. So if you want to design a brochure or something that it's gonna be printed it's better you start using the CMYK color when you're creating your document. So that time, whenever you print it, you will exactly see the things that you already have in your document. So you're not going to be surprised. Maybe you edit something in the RGB color, which is very good, very colorful, looks beautiful. But when you print it, everything gets dull and totally the design destroyed. Everything will be gone. So actually these two colors are very important, RGB and the CMYK. They are the most useful ones, so it's better that you really work with these two things and try to see how it's different. Try to create something on the RGB, then try to create the same thing on the CMYK and see how it will be different. Okay, so what else we have here? The other important thing that we have is here is the grayscale. So basically when something is grayscale, everything is black and white. Like here, for example, I will create another file, this time on the grayscale. Okay, now I try to use the same gradient. As you can see, my colors automatically change to from the pink, it is purple, and the blue one. When I go to my grayscale, it's completely changed to a different shade of gray. So actually what you have here is just different shade of gray. Even if you go click here, like I choose this yellow, this colorful yellow, when I click OK, it's not gonna be yellow, it's become like the super white. So basically any color that you choose, it will automatically change to a shade of gray. That's why we call it grayscale. Actually everything will be black and white. You don't have any color on it. So these three are the main color mode that we have in the Photoshop: CMYK, RGB, and grayscale. You can see the differences here. CMYK, the colors are dull. In the RGB, everything is perfect. We can see everything good. And in the grayscale, everything is black and white. Okay. Now let's talk about, if you click here, let's talk about these things. What are these stuff here? These numbers that we can see. For example, if I click here on this green, this color of the green, okay? Let's make a RGB. Okay, this green color that I have here, okay? But if someone asks you, what is this color? What do you call this color? Okay, it's green, but what kind of green? As you know, if we click here, I can create lots tones, like unlimited tones of different greens, okay? So how are we gonna name the colors in the Photoshop? We're gonna use a code. This code that you see here, 2CDE6F, okay? If you make this code, even right now that you're practicing, open your Photoshop, go to your color picker, type this code here, and it automatically go to this green color. Okay, for example, just copy it. Okay, for example, I change my color. I change it to blue. See, I totally lost that green color that I have. But if whenever I click here, then I delete this, I put same code, it automatically goes to the same green color that you have already. This is exactly the same one that we use. So actually when you are working with for the customers, sometimes they give you something like this. For example, they are the colors that we want to use in our brochure or in our logo or website or anything that you are designing. Like they ask you to use this kind of color. You see they have named deep pink 2, deep pink 3, deep pink 4, maroon or magenta 1, 2. Okay, so what you're gonna do, for example, if you want to use this color magenta 3, you see the code here. So you just double click here. Let's type this code here. It's a C031C7. Click on the OK. See? Now I have this exactly color that they have. Or sometimes you made a logo for the customer. For example, you have this old logo, then customer is asking you, what's the color, the orange color that you use here? What they mean is, what's the code of this color? So if you go here, you can see the code is FF7520. That's the code of this color. You can also do the same thing with these numbers here. As you see, whenever I change the color here, not only the code change, these numbers here also change. That means, for example, if I'm using the RGB color, what I need to is I give 148 units of the red, 110 of the green, and 87 point of the blue to have this color. So basically RGB color, all the colors that you can see in the monitor, they're made by red, green, and blue. Okay, and actually that's how the color works. Even in the real life, if you have different kind of pencil, then try to draw them top of each other. For example, if you have the green, then you have the shade of green here. Okay, then if you go pick the blue, and when you have the shade of blue, you see the color is changed here because actually we mix the green and the blue together. Now if I also add the red on top of that, see what will happen. For example, red top of the green, it changed to the orange. Red top of the blue changed to like the purple or maroon. And if now I add the red also here top of these two color, you see it's another type of, it's like a darker kind of pink here appears here. So we can create all the colors actually with using only these three main color. In the real life, it's also like that. If you have a color pencil in your house or the marker, you can see that all the colors that you can create with mixing only these three colors. So also in the printer, if you have a printer at the home and you open and you see your cartridge, you see that you have only cyan, magenta, yellow, and black cartridge in your printer. So whatever you print, all the colors is just mixing of the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black color. So maybe here there is a question, what is cyan and magenta, that I'm just keep telling you guys, because anyway they're yellow, blue, other colors are obvious what are they, but if you want to know, magenta is kind of something like this, something like pink. It will be, when they say magenta, they mean something like pink. Actually, you should have a bit red on it. Maybe, yeah, that's the color of the magenta. And when you talk about the cyan, this is the cyan, that type of blue, like baby blue, but very strong baby blue. That's called them cyan. So in the printer, you use this color CMYK to create the rest of the colors, and in the monitor, actually it's just red, green, and blue color, which everything we see in our monitor, in your screen, in your cell phone, created with those three main colors. Okay, now we have two options here. What are these things? For example, I choose this color. As you can see, I have a notification here. That means this color cannot be for the printing. Like if you are working some on like CMYK color or the Rgb color, you click that one, there's a notification. That means this color that you have, it has a gamut warning. That means if you want to print it, it will have a problem. So you just click here, it goes directly to the nearby color that can be used without problem. It's not going to affect any bad thing in your printing. Okay, and you also have something here. If you have this notification, that means this color is not a safe web color. Okay, if I click here, it will go to the nearest safe web color that I can use. Like if I click here, okay, now I have no problem. If I use this color, it's okay for both printing and for the web color. But what is web color? Actually, right now in these days, it's not much important anymore, because most of the monitors that we are using now, most of the screens and the cell phones, they can show any kind of color. But when we back to the old time, when we have different type of the monitor and they have different quality and the different color theme that they can show us, the old time, we needed to use the colors that they are safe for the website. For example, you have the website, you want to be sure any customer with any kind of monitor, any kind of cell phone, they can open and view everything perfectly, view the color perfectly. So those time, they had to use that web safe color. But right now, actually, it's not going to be much useful, because any kind of monitor can use and show any kind of color. And you can also check this here, only web colors. If you put that one, you can see this how it works. So from this kind of unlimited tune of the colors that you can make, it will just go to view one, like 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So it's like 25, and one black is 26. So compare this 26 shade of blue compared to this that you can have unlimited shades of blue. But anyway, as I said, right now the new monitor, the new cell phone, everything, they can show any kind of color. So don't worry yourself much about this. But in any case, if someone asks you, I just want the color be the web safe color, you can just click here and it just show you the web safe color. Or if you pick a color here, just click here, it automatically go to a color that is part of web safe color.